Are you okay, sir? One more step and you were in the drink.
R-E-N-O.
Pardon?
It's me, Captain Obo. Obo! Proud commander of the just as proud Krystal. So don't you, sir, me.
Well, delighted. Captain, I'm Kate Walker. I'm looking for Steiner's, the clockmaker.
If I fall in the water, sailor, it'll be to go straight to hell. So don't fall in the water, sailor, you understand? Bastard's waiting for me.
Who are you talking about?
The monster of the lake is waiting for us all, miss. Everyone's time comes eventually. To finish the work. Come on, back in the fight. Because you can never lower your guard. Never.
It's because of the lake monster that the locks are closed.
Hello? Anyone here? Given the number of seats, this must be some kind of ferry. Some kind of transport. As deserted as the outside. Everything seems to still be working. Strange for a boat to be left like this, unwatched. Poor Captain. Even though his superstitions terrify him, he's obviously dreaming of a second chance. It looks like it needs repairs. Too bad. The Krystal. Isn't that the boat that the drunk in the port was talking about earlier? Tavern.
Someone stole 3 chickens last night. I bet it was those damn thieving Youkols again.
Yeah, we can't always accuse the foxes. You should go see about complaining to the mayor with all the
I
others.
hope you find the tavern agreeable, miss.
All those youngsters trying to act smart to impress the Steiner girl. It really gets to me.
Ah, miss, delighted to see that you finally managed to leave the Youkol camp.
Yes, thank you very much for the pass.
Well, now that you're at last here, you'll be able to taste my famous borscht.
It would be my pleasure, but I do have to find Steiner the clockmaker right away.
Simon Steiner? Ah, in that case, you should speak with Sarah, our young waitress. She's his granddaughter.
Is Simon Steiner well known here in Valsembor?
For a long time, he was rather popular. You know, he isn't just a clockmaker. He knows everything about mechanical objects. He repaired everything for everybody here in Valsembor. He also designed the amusement park on the other side of the lake with a colleague of his. A French automaton creator, if I remember. You could say Valsembor owes a lot to Simon Steiner, miss. So when he got sick, I offered to hire Sarah to help a little. You understand?
I met that man recently. A certain Captain Obo. He doesn't seem very with it.
And he's been that way for 20 years, miss. 20 years. Can you imagine? He used to command the Krystal, the boat that made the crossing between here and the amusement park, on the other side of the lake. And he wasn't the same man then.
How are things in town? They don't seem to be going that well.
If you ask me, the atmosphere is horrible. At least half the people don't want the Youkols right at our door. Most of the shopkeepers even made the decision to go on strike over what they saw as unfair competition. Also, Valsembor hasn't been the same in the last 20 years. There it is.
I'm off. Thank you again for your help.
See you soon, miss.
Excuse me, please, miss.
Yes?
I'm looking for Simon Steiners.
Simon Steiner is my grandfather. My name is Sarah. Sarah Steiner.
Pleased to meet you, Sarah. I'm Kate Walker. Can you tell me where I can find your grandfather's workshop?
Of course. You'll find his shop is at the end of the alleyway, on the left, just as you leave it, in the main avenue. Can I ask what you want with him? Because he's rather old, you know.
I'm accompanying the Youkol caravan. Apparently your grandfather is supposed to be making a mechanical prosthesis for Kirk, their spiritual chief, who had a bad accident recently. Without the artificial leg, Kirk won't be able to go along with the great migration of his people. And on top of that, the Youkols won't leave without their guide.
You're accompanying the Youkols? My god, you're so terribly lucky. When I was little, Grandfather used to tell me all about their adventures, full of mystery and magic.
You seem to like the Youkols, Sarah. I get the impression that's rare in Valsembor.
It's true that when it comes to the Youkols, people around here can be a bit silly. They go out of their way to make the nomads scapegoats for all of the town's problems since they got stuck here.
But you don't, do you?
Of course not. Grandfather told me that he has actually seen 3 or 4 of the great ostrich migrations in his lifetime, and he always really respected those strange people. He even made sure I would admire them too, you know.
I guess you're pretty close to your grandfather?
Yes. Of course he can get a bit grumpy, especially the last few years. But he's actually really adorable, and you should see the work he does. Give him a few cogs and springs, and he'll give you some unbelievably incredible invention. He almost makes mechanical objects seem alive.
I see exactly what you mean. I used to know someone like that too.
The only problem we have is that business collapsed when he got sick. I really do believe that if I didn't have the waitressing jobs to make ends meet, we'd probably have to close up shop.
Do you like life in Valsembor?
Oh, there's really not that much to talk about here, you know. I spend all my time here or with Grandfather since he got sick.
There was no one who could keep an eye on him for you?
We can't afford it, I'm afraid. I also think I prefer it this way. My grandfather is my only family.
Thank you for your help.
I'll be stopping in to see Grandfather on my next break. Maybe I'll see you there.
Yes, I hope so. Goodbye, Sarah.
The lake is haunted by a demon. It's watching me. Waiting. I can feel it.
That shape there in the water. What is it?
I'd really suggest you steer well clear of Captain Oboe, miss. He's always basically drunk as a skunk.
Steiner. Hello. Are you Mr. Steiner? I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Steiner. My name is Kate Walker, and I've come to pick up the prosthesis for Kirk, the Youkol spiritual guide.
And well, dear Miss Walker, Dr. Efimova has informed me that the young man was not yet in any sort of condition to withstand the operation, and that...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
It is impossible. That pendant you have around your neck. I would be very obliged if you would entrust me with it for a moment. Please, Miss Walker. Mein Gott! An XZ-2000 automaton heart in perfect working condition. A compensating spring memory. Pendulum ventricles and small mechanical pumps. Everything seems in excellent condition. Donnerwetter! Where on earth did you steal this, Miss Walker? Are you...
What? Are you calling me a thief, Mr. Steiner? I haven't stolen anything from anyone. This is all I have left of my friend Oscar. Give it back to me right now.
Ah, so. And yet I am actually very familiar with this type of precision mechanism. An infernal precision. Incredible, unique expertise. For this was a Vorarlberg automaton, Miss Walker.
Yes. It was Hans Vorarlberg who designed this object. Tell me, did you know him?
Oh, yeah. He even lived here a few years. We did a lot of work together. He taught me so many different things, you know. So it is useless to try and make up silly stories, Miss Walker. And I am afraid that I am not about to allow you to leave here as long as you have not told me the truth about where this object comes from. Well?
Mr. Steiner, Oscar was a very special automaton. He inspired almost human emotions. But today he doesn't exist. He isn't dead, of course. Because what has never lived cannot die. Oscar was just dismantled. It had to be like that. All that I have left of him is that heart. A heart made of metal.
It's far more than just a heart, miss. It's far more like a kind of mechanical hard drive. A computer that is full of cogs, gears, and springs, but...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
My heart... need... my medication! Quickly!
Just don't move. I'll go and get your medication right away. No medication in sight.
Make yourself right at home. Don't mind me. I just own the place.
There's no point. Nothing that could help him. That could do him more harm than good. No medication. No way. Nothing that could help him. That could do him more harm than good. No medication. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. Who would store medication in this mess? Still nothing. Fantastic! Who would store medication in this mess? still nothing. Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner."
My heart. I need my medication. Quickly. Thank you for your precious help, my dearest Miss Walker. I'm afraid I may have judged you somewhat hastily.
Don't mention it, Mr. Steiner. Tell me about the prosthesis. I need to take it back to Kirk very quickly, if, of course, you agree to let me have it.
Yeah. I just have a few small adjustments to make. It involves very precise and meticulous mechanics, understand?
Will it take long? I'm sorry to insist, but I also have to give a hand to those unfortunate Youkols. I need to help them get across the lake with their herd of ostriches. I'm so worried about them.
Once the mechanical leg is at last ready, I can go to the clinic and bring back young Kirk to you. That way you only have to worry about what happens to the other Youkols. What do you think?
That's so nice of you, Mr. Steiner. But why are you doing this?
I wasn't extremely nice to you earlier. And also the way the Youkols are treated by the other townsfolk here, in my own town, disgusts me. So I want to help those poor devils, even if I am in no way absolutely certain they should be crossing the lake.
You want to talk about everything that happened in Baranour 20 years ago.
How on earth did you hear about the story, miss? The authorities have always done everything that was in their power to keep this terrible business absolutely quiet.
I read the ship's log that Captain Obo wrote at the time. Tell me exactly what happened there, Mr. Steiner.
It has become a true hell on earth. since the time of the last great ostrich migration. Please join me downstairs for a moment, Miss Walker. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Look just next to the films there, Miss Walker. You should find a film on Baranour.
Baranour, the cursed city. Baranour, the martyred town. Baranour has been nothing but a field of ruins and desolation a week after the explosion of reactor number 3 in the nuclear power plant. Valsembor is on the other side of the lake, sheltered from the prevailing wind, and fortunately it seems to have been spared from the deadly radioactive clouds. Our town was mobilized to go to the aid of our neighbors. Although our town's means were modest when compared to the catastrophe, there were nonetheless among us some brilliant mechanical engineers. In record time, they developed a small army of automatons capable of helping the affected people. Those men and dogs of steel could go where a human could no longer set foot without becoming seriously ill. Over there, they could be excavators, rescue workers, and treasure bearers.
Oscar! They all look like him.
Truly magnificent pieces, Nishtvar. The XZ-2000 model is most assuredly one of Hans's major masterpieces.
Their mission was to bring back any survivors of the catastrophe to Valsembor, where the victims would receive the best care in Dr. Zemiatin's clinic. The Krystal, the ferry usually responsible for linking the towns of Valsembor and Baranour every day, carried the new type of rescuers to the scene of the drama, and brought back the survivors of the catastrophe.
So Baranour suffered the ravages of a nuclear accident. But according to that film, the automatons you designed with Hans should have helped save lots of lives, right?
I'm afraid that's not how things went. Because of Captain Obo, who... Ah, that must be Sarah. Please come this way, Miss Walker. I'll introduce you.
Tools that would have suited Hans.
Miss Walker, may I introduce you to Sarah, my granddaughter?
We've actually already met. Haven't we, Sarah?
I actually owe Miss Walker a candle. Thanks to her calmness and peace of mind, I'm still here and on my feet. She found my medication and gave it to me before it was too late. Donnerwetter.
You don't mean you had another attack, do you? Ah, you're being so very naughty, Grandfather. You absolutely must let Dr. Zamiatine examine you.
Come on, stay calm, my little child. When I go to the clinic to take the prosthesis to the young Youkol, I'll stop by and see the good doctor. Until then, why don't you make yourself really useful to Miss Walker? She's looking for some way to transport the Youkol caravan to the other side of the lake.
Well, I think I've already found the solution. The boat in the film, the Krystal, it must be the ship that's docked in the port. If it was able to transport the automatons you and Hans built, it could carry the ostriches across the lake.
Ah, that's not a bad idea. But unfortunately, there's a slight problem of size, dear Miss Walker.
It's true I can't afford to pay for a crossing, but...
Oh, that's not what I'm talking about. The problem is Captain Obo, a very sad fellow. That coward has been hiding himself in alcohol ever since he abandoned our automatons to Baranour, and he'd rather simply die than go back. He tells everybody that the evil monster of the lake is waiting for him, and that as soon as he goes back on the water, the beast will just up and grab him. Ha 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 ha. But of course, that is the purest fantasy.
Grandfather, I know you're still really angry with Captain Obo because he abandoned the automatons that you built with your friend Hans and Baranour. He was supposed to wait for them. They were going to take all the survivors they found in the rubble to the boat and then bring everyone here to safety in Valsembor. But in the end, when he got to the beach at Baranour and saw the disaster and all the dead, he became really afraid. The disease, the radiation, he must have had an uncontrollable panic attack, so he immediately turned back, dumped the machines on the Krystal into the lake, and came back empty-handed to Valsembor. And the automatons have been there ever since, in hell. But who knows? Maybe today he'll want to sell. I'm sure Kate will be capable of convincing him to help the Youkols. I have to go do my waitressing shift in the tavern. Come by and see me later on, okay? Captain Obo will be there.
All right then. I'll try and convince Captain Obo. Thank you for everything, Mr. Steiner.
I don't know if I really should wish you good luck, dear Miss Walker. Baranour is only an open grave now.
Impossible, I don't believe it. He forgot to leave it open again.
Welcome to our humble Valsembor funicular station, miss.
No Youkols in Valsembor! The shopkeepers can't take it anymore! The shopkeepers are on strike!
There've been 10 thefts from my shop since those savages showed up!
If you were only here to see this, Oscar.
The nomads are stealing our merchandise and our customers. The Youkols don't belong in Valsembor. The shopkeepers have had enough.
Thieving Youkols in Valsembor! The shopkeepers want them out the door! Thieving Youkols... The shopkeepers want them out the door! Close the nomad souk! Throw them all out or we'll stay on strike!
There've been 10 thefts from my shop since those savages showed up! Mr. Mayor, who's gonna pay?
Come outside! Show yourself, Mr. Mayor!
Yeah, come outside now or we'll throw you out in the next elections! Mayor Buyakin! Mayor Buyakin!
Thieving Youkols in Valsembor!
The shopkeepers are on strike for the first time in ages. That's not good business for anyone, if you know that.
We're not leaving until you come outside to talk, Mr. Mayor!
Captain Obo?
What do you want? Ooh.
May I sit down for a second?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to impose, but I actually really...
You know, you kind of remind me of someone. The wife of the quartermaster that served on board the Krystal after the war. Do you realize he got married to the first cousin of the wife of a machinist?
Oh, okay. That's all really interesting, but what I wanted to ask...
That's a really great story, really. Because, did you know? So there! So the guy answers, "I don't know nothing, Captain." Turns out he was hiding in the broom closet. Hilarious. Irina, the wife of the quartermaster. Her name was Irina Malevna. Crazy how much you look like her.
Oh, gee. It's getting late. I have to go. You can finish telling me the story another time, Captain Obo.
Is everything okay, Kate?
Not really. I'd like to ask Captain Obo if the Youkol caravan can go on board his boat to cross over to Baranour. But I can't get a straight answer. He's completely sloshed.
I'm sorry, miss, but I really think you're wasting your time. He's getting drunk again to forget his crimes, like he always does. To forget he wasn't brave the way a captain should be. Can you believe it? In Baranour, he just picked up and abandoned his passengers. And I know, he'll never want to see that cursed place again.
I'm not sure that's true, lad. Even if he does drink a lot, the captain's a pretty good guy. Say the right thing, and you may be able to convince him.
If I'm ever lucky enough to find him sober, even for a moment, I need that drunkard to listen to me.
Maybe I can help you with that. I'll make him one of my famous small restoratives. After that, he'll want to sleep for 3 days, but at least his mind will be clear.
You know the captain better than I do. What can you tell me that will help me to convince him?
One thing's for sure, he definitely hates himself for abandoning all those people to their fate over there in Baranour. All of those men, women, and children that Grandfather's army of automatons was going to rescue and bring back on board the Krystal. He has the impression nobody here will ever forgive him, and to be perfectly honest, he's not far wrong. Plus, he's also racked with guilt. So in my opinion, avoid criticizing him.
Do you know why Captain Obo fled Baranour?
He must have been completely traumatized by what he saw there. The catastrophe, the victims, and then the radiation. He unloaded the automatons on the beach, but he didn't expect they'd bring the survivors back right then. He just cracked, completely snapped. Full astern and goodbye all. Can you even imagine?
Afterwards, he came up with that story of a sea monster appearing and attacking his boat.
Yes, the old legend of the monster of the lake. Convenient, isn't it?
Who knows what became of the victims and automatons the captain abandoned?
No, everybody hates the captain for that. But nobody volunteered to take the helm of the Krystal in his place to pick up the survivors. If there are any left in Baranour, they're all dead now, that's for sure.
Grandfather says that the automatons would have broken down really quickly with nobody to maintain them.
Has Captain Obo taken the Krystal out of port since leaving Baranour?
He's been far too drunk ever since then for that.
And anyway, the port's been closed since the tragedy of Baranour 20 years ago.
Do you think the Krystal is still in sailing condition after all this time?
I'm sure there'll be a few repairs to do, but Obo never stopped keeping it in shape, you know. He loves his boat, despite everything. Go see the captain. Sarah will bring you the restorative when it's ready.
Take this, Captain. This one's on the house.
My God! This piss water unbuttons the hatches, swabs the deck, and opens the portholes. Hello, miss.
My name is Kate Walker, Captain Obo. We met each other earlier.
To what do I owe the honor of your presence at the table of the regrettably famous Captain Obo? Why are you still here if you don't want...
This is good news, Captain. You're back at the starting block again. You have a new beginning, a new dawn.
Now that's a good show of spirit, Miss Walker. What'll you be having now? It's my round. So what?
I'd rather you listen to me. You're my only hope of finding a solution to my problem.
Do tell me about it, please, miss.
Because the Youkols and their ostriches are stuck here in Valsembor, it's causing a serious problem among the people in your community. Plus, the nomads have to continue their great journey. Only you, Captain Obo, can defuse the situation by taking them on board the Krystal.
You're very wrong, Miss Walker. Everybody will tell you that I'm incapable of giving a hand to anyone. Right. Go on.
I took a look at your logbook, Captain. I read what you wrote when you fled Baranour.
So in that case, you know what I am, right? I'm damned and rotten to the core.
Let me tell you something, Captain. I know that you need to redeem yourself, and I just may be able to help you do that.
How in the hell?
Take the Youkol caravan to Baranour in the Krystal. The migration must go that way.
Baranour? That's impossible. You can't go to there anymore. Never again. Too much happened. Too many died. But also there, in the water, I saw the hellish red eyes of the monster of the lake. Beast as big and long as my boat. Ask your Youkol friends what they think about it. They call it the Kilak, the evil spirit of the lake. The devil guarding the doorway to hell.
Captain, I think it's time for you to clear your head of all these fanciful stories designed to scare people. Everywhere in the world where the water is deep, people have come up with legends designed to keep children safe. Come on, get up, Captain Obo. Show me what you're made of.
Ms. Walker, first of all, I have to say that you're an incredibly stubborn woman. I'd even say that you're a real, Anyway, I'll stop there. But I get it.
And what am I to conclude from your appraisals?
All right. You can get your gang of little savages and board the Krystal. I'll take you.
Oh, thank you, Captain, really, with all my heart. And thank you on behalf of the Youkols.
Oh, but be careful now, Captain Girl. You're not there yet. There are two conditions, and they aren't negotiable. First, we stop by Naudas. It's a little town just a bit south of Baranour. That will mean we avoid the most radioactive zones, but it won't actually take you too far off your path. And second, we also sail by day. I'm not going to finish up on the lake monster's plate. And it sleeps during the day. The beast is usually a bit of a night owl, anyway.
I accept, Captain Obo.
In that case, all hands on deck now, sailor, because we've got work to do before we can hoist the anchor.
Come on, Kate. You hurry off and meet with the captain before he changes his mind. I'll go tell Grandfather to join you on board the Krystal with Kirk.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, Captain. How are the preparations going?
There's quite a bit of work to do before we can hoist the anchor, Miss Kate.
Maybe I can help you out with something.
Well, the coal needs to be stocked up. As for myself, I'll look after getting the water tanks ready to be filled. Take this. It's the code you need for entering the hangar where the coal is kept. You actually need it to use the crane to load the coal onto the Krystal. Don't forget to open the storage hatchway first.
How do I open the hatchway to the coal storage on the Krystal?
Just turn the wheel on the ship's bridge, sailor.
What do I need to do in the hangar?
That's where you'll find all the coal you need for the Krystal. One container should just about be enough. And don't forget to use the entry code for the crane that I just gave you.
What do I need the crane for?
This here is for loading all the coal you get from the hangar onto the ship. Use the code I gave you so that you can access the control post.
I'll take care of that, Captain.
We need to set sail as soon as possible, so better hurry up.
It looks like it needs repairs. Too bad. This must be the coal tank that the captain asked me to fill from outside. Not a chance. That's not right. Let's try something else. It doesn't work. A folding chute, covered with coal, too. A folding chute, covered with coal, too. on. Oh, gosh! That's not right. No way. No point wasting the coal by emptying it here.
Apparently, you did a very good job loading all the coal, Kate. Right. Everything's ready, so we can start filling the water tank. Now we need to connect the water tower to the Krystal, then climb up there to manually activate the water flow mechanism.
Let me guess, you're counting on me?
When you're finished, come and see me on board. There's still a lot to do before we're shipshape.
The captain said, first, connect the water intake on the bridge of the Krystal. I took care of the water, Captain. Everything went smoothly. Is everything okay?
No. The ignition key for the Krystal. I can't find it anywhere. Without it, we can't even start.
Come on, just relax. The key has to be around here somewhere.
Good Lord, now I remember. 20 years ago, when I got back from Baranour without the automatons, everybody was really very hard on me, you know.
Captain, I don't really see what you...
So I spent the whole night in the tavern. You should have seen the state I was in when I got back to the bridge of the Krystal and...
And?
And then I threw the Krystal's ignition key into the water. I swore I'd never set sail on the cursed waters of the lake again.
There has to be a duplicate for the key.
I don't know. At any rate, when Steiner finished building the Krystal, he only actually gave me the one.
I saw a model of the Krystal at Simon Steiner's. Is he the one who designed the ship?
Yes, of course.
Maybe he could be of some help then.
Maybe. Who knows?
So that's it? The ignition key is lost forever?
Yeah. I'm afraid so. I'm really sorry, Kate, but we're stuck. I've made a complete mess of everything again. Again.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Captain. I'll find a solution to the key problem.
If you say so.
Kate, how are the preparations with the captain coming along?
We're making progress, but actually we need some help from your grandfather. Is he here?
He just left for the clinic with the artificial leg he made for the Youkol guide, Kirk. I'm minding the shop until he gets back. Maybe I can help you with something?
It seems the captain has misplaced the ignition key for the Krystal, and without it we won't be able to leave. So as it was your grandfather who designed the Krystal, I figured he just might have a duplicate.
I have to admit, I don't see where you could get one of those. Apart from the model downstairs, I don't think he kept a lot of souvenirs of the time when he built the Krystal.
Would you mind if I had a look?
Of course not. Here, take this. It'll let you look at the model close up.
Fantastic! An ignition key. But it looks far too small for the crystal. Let's try something else. The duplication worked, but I get the impression it's not the right size. So, Steiner had the time to finish the prosthesis. Perfect.
Fantastic, Kate. I have to admit, you really know how to get things done.
Thank you, Captain. Are there any other preparations to carry out?
There's just one last problem to solve. The locks we need to use to get out onto the lake. They're shut by order of the town hall. You have to find some way to get them open.
What do you suggest?
The best thing to do is to ask Mayor Bulyakin for the authorization to reopen them. But just to give you fair warning, he's about as straight as a crooked waterspout, so you mind him. Or you could just get a hold of some explosives and then kaboom!
First, I'll try talking to the mayor. Thanks, Captain.